Yeah, we good, we good.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening, guys. That's our first show in Germany, yeah?
It's like being a musician is also being some kind of pop star. So when I watched your Instagram account, Francesca, I saw many girls posting heart and flame emojis there. So also when I was at San Francisco, there was one model coming to see you. So some newspaper called you the anti-Justin Bieber, and you told me you don't like that so much. So maybe you can tell us why.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Huffington Post in the U.S., they call me the anti-Bieber. I don't know why. I guess kind of because he's like a mainstream figure, like of a young person, just like super wrapped up in fame and ego, and I'm trying to be not that. So, I guess so. I would use it as a title, maybe like as a adjective. I don't know. I thought it was weird. I like Kid Warrior. You can call me X, Scott, but
Some people also call you the new Che Guevara of climate
That's
activism.
super
Do you
dope.
like
I
that?
haven't heard that. That's dope. That's an honor.
Yeah, I read that.
I went to Sweden. And I was in doing a few different TV shows, and people were like, "Everybody here's calling you like the young Obama." I thought it was funny. I had some like mixed feelings about that because
You told me that your hero is Tupac, and no one that.
Tupac's the G, but I don't know. I got a lot of heroes. You know?
Okay, that's you also wrote a book and brought it with me. So I think you can only buy it in the US, or you can get it here. But
the next print is gonna make it so anybody can get it. You can get it on Amazon. You guys have Amazon here, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Amazon part of the problem.
That is not a product endorsement, by the way. I do not endorse Amazon. But you can get my book there.
Compromises, you right? No, but this book is also because we were talking about this Che Guevara thing, and you were singing about revolution right now, and so in this book you wrote like a guidebook for a new movement. It's already also called like that, and then you have chapters saying like roots of revolution. So this is what you want to do. You want to create a movement of the planet, or
yeah. I mean, I want to be a part of it. You know, it's not my movement, not my revolution, not my cause. It's not about me. I'm not trying to be the next Martin Luther King. I'm not trying to be anything other than just use my voice to help represent people that don't have a voice, to inspire young people that don't have a voice to use their own. And I want to be a part of creating something that's big enough to shift the state of the planet right now. I want young people to grow up in a beautiful, healthy, just, peaceful, sustainable world. They deserve that, you know? In the same way that I was raised in a beautiful, loving, like a beautiful environment, beautiful community, beautiful family. Like, I think future generations deserve that same thing, and we are responsible for providing that, I believe.
But isn't that what a movement needs also, like a figure they can relate to, like for example all these left-wing movements had, and the environmental movement didn't have this one figure, this icon, and isn't that something
traditionally, I also believe our generation is going to be responsible for, in a lot of good ways, hopefully, breaking tradition and like scattering the seeds of leadership everywhere. So it's not just one person that has to be at the forefront. It can be a whole network of young leaders, and that's what my organization Earth Guardians is doing. We are working with different youth groups, different groups of Earth Guardians in we have like 140 different groups in like 40 different countries all over the world, and each group is responsible for incredible actions, you know, amazing things that they're doing. Like my cousin Tekpat over here, he's working in Mexico City to help the city respond to and kind of react to the earthquakes that happened there, that destroyed many homes in his community, displaced many people, help build new homes with more like a sustainable outlook on housing, you know, really help get people engaged and involved and supporting one another in the community. I really believe in shifting culture, and I don't think there needs to be kind of this pinnacle leader. I'm not trying to create more followers. I'm trying to inspire more leaders. That's you know, my mission.
But still people want you to come to speak to, you told me that it's sometimes exhausting, that always people want to listen to you, so you...
I think more than anything, that's because they haven't heard of a whole lot of other young people that are doing similar things. And a huge initiative I'm going to be bringing forth in kind of spearheading in 2018 is this thing called the Voice Runners, the Earth Guardians Voice Runners, which is going to be a speakers bureau of some of the most intellectual, intelligent, bright, activated young minds that I've connected with. That are going to be doing what I do, going around coffee shops in Germany and speaking about these kind of things. It's going to be like kind of this social collective of young people that are going to be this network of leaders. So it's going to be like the Avengers, kind of, but for like climate justice and sustainability and social justice. And we're going to be sending them out all over the place. So when we come to the UN, it's like 10 of us rolling deep. And just like there was like 8 of us just in Sweden of these different Earth Guardian leaders that were there for the Children's Climate Prize. Also, so I don't have to be everywhere at once. A lot of people want to hear the Earth Guardian's message. I don't have to be the one speaking it, because there are a lot of other young people that I'm planning on training and just helping them develop and grow in their own voice to send them out and do this, because I don't want to be alone. It sucks when you feel alone. That is the hardest thing ever, really. And being a part of a team, in a family, in a group, in a community, best feeling in the world.
But if you want to change something, it's one thing to convince people to be active and everything, but it's also that you have to confront yourself, and you're doing that also with powerful people and powerful companies.
Yeah.
So you were the youngest person ever to speak at the General Assembly of the United Nations.
I think to address a General Assembly like that, yeah.
And so how was that? Did you have the feeling that had an impact, or?
The UN is such a weird place. It's like not my favorite place to be, personally. I appreciate the platform that it has given my voice, but it feels very bureaucratic and oftentimes very slow. When I spoke there, you should have seen, before I spoke, I saw people literally just like these professional adult delegate representatives from all these nations just chilling on their phone. They look like apathetic 16-year-old girls. It was ridiculous. And you know what I'm saying? That shit was very obnoxious for me to witness among adults. Because it's the most important issue that we are discussing as a global community that we flew everybody out here to talk about, and people weren't paying attention. Excuse my language, but moment of frustration. So when I got up on stage and they heard a 17-year-old kid speaking, they were like, wait, what? And first of all, because I opened up, they have a very strict, this amount of minutes, these are the words you're going to say, this is the script. And I started off, I didn't follow that. And I started, and speaking in my native language. And everybody that speaks different languages, they have this little earpiece where they listen. There's translators. And there was not one translator, obviously, that could speak this language. So everybody grabbed these cups and they were like, what is this kid saying? And I'm sure the translators were in the booth back there being like, I don't know what's going on. I don't speak this language. So I think that was kind of a wake-up call. And then all of a sudden, most of the room was paying attention. But I think the biggest part of me speaking at the UN was the ripple effect it had outside of those doors. Because if you see who's really represented there and who really are the leaders at the UN, it is not always representative of all of you. And I think, it was a beautiful platform to try to reach beyond the walls of the United Nations. So I'm grateful for it. Not my favorite place, but I'm grateful.
A couple of weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, we had the climate conference here in Bonn in Germany. And don't you think that these political discussions are really important to change something? Because it's one thing to have people in the streets, but it's another thing to have people really decide something that
For
can
sure.
change.
Yes, I think that political change is paramount to transitioning towards a more just and sustainable and balanced Earth. I don't think it's the only thing, and I don't think we can rely on that. Even countries like Sweden, that I was just saying, where I met with the Deputy Prime Minister and the parliamentarian, right now the Green Party is in office, right now they have all these really ambitious goals to transition to 100% renewable energy by 2025, carbon neutral by 2030. And even in that nation, it doesn't, just because their politicians are doing great things, it doesn't let the people off the hook, So I believe in a really important, concise balance. I personally didn't go to this conference. I think that if we can reach the Paris climate agreement, that's great, but it's actually still not enough, because their goal of 2 degrees of warming, right? And if they can 1.5 degrees of warming, but their goal is 2, right? That 2 degrees of warming for the Earth is still detrimental for many island nations, for many communities that live on the coast, whose homes are already disappearing. It's actually not good enough. So I think, yes, we need political change. Yes, we need political action, but we're not dependent on it. Just like in the US, doesn't matter who is in office, the change that we will create over the next 4 years isn't going to all of a sudden come to a halt because Trump is in power. Like, we are not going to sit by while he takes things in the opposite direction. It's this, it's a whole system shift that needs to happen, you know? People from all walks of life have to get involved in different ways. Yes, our politicians, yes, the young radicals, yes, the legal system, yes, the music industry, yeah, everybody has a part to play.
But as we were speaking about him,
You must not be.
Lord Bolton. You right now you and some like 20 other young people, like I think they're between the age of 9 and 21, I think.
Yeah.
You even confront yourself with a very huge target, the U.S. government. So, and it didn't start with Donald Trump, but you were starting that trial against the Obama administration. And so maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and how that is going on right now.
Yeah, myself and a bunch of other kids sued the government.
Yeah.
It's been a process. It's been fun. It was this idea that we can bring a diverse new tactic to the forefront of our focus for addressing climate change. It was combining the stories of these 21 youth that were all being impacted by climate change in different ways with some of the top, legal representatives in our country and some of the top climate scientists to really bring together these 3 different communities to hold the U.S. government accountable for action on climate change, saying what is currently being done in the U.S. is a violation of our constitutional rights as young people. And so for we originally sued Obama and the Obama administration because regardless of the world sometimes seeing him as a green president or somebody that was very pro-climate justice because of his statements, his actions didn't hold up. So when Trump was elected, the lawsuit transferred to him. Not much changed other than just far more satisfaction when we say we're suing Trump. It's way more satisfying to say that than saying we're suing Obama. And that it's exciting. We get to be stoked on that. So the legal procedure has gone to a place where we are actually finally going to trial after these last couple of years. Very exciting. The fact that we made it this far is wait, what? Against one of the most powerful governments, powerful fossil fuel corporations, specifically, the fossil fuel industry. It's big move. So we're going to be heading to court December 11th for a pre-trial, and then the trial date is going to be February 5th in Eugene, Oregon, in the 9th District Court. And we're gonna turn up. We're gonna have parties there. We're gonna have lots of young people gathering and playing music. We're gonna have ciphers and freestyle sessions. It's gonna be so lit.
So to resume, you do quite a lot of things. You do music. You talk in front of powerful people, in front of just normal people like us. You do trials against the government, but still not everyone can do that. And we were talking about that before, but. Me personally, I have the feeling that the climate problem is so huge. There doesn't seem to be such a big chance that we can make it. For being pessimistic now, but so you still say we can do that? We can save the planet.
Yeah, we're up against a lot, for real. It's really challenging. I wake up every day and I think about this, A lot of other people spend far less time thinking about these issues or about this world. And for me, when I go home and I hang out with my little brother and my little sister's 9, my little brother's 14, or we were just staying with a beautiful family in Cologne. They have a daughter named Pina. She's 3 months old. We were playing music for her and singing to her and helping watch her while her parents were in the kitchen. My little nieces and nephews in Mexico, they're all super young, excited, inspired, creative kids. I look at even just the youth in this audience, and there is no part of me that doubts that we will come together to do everything in our power to help protect these children. And it's this question of, will it happen in time? And this is really serious. It's really, really important, and it's really critical. And we have to ask ourselves, what is it that we are willing to fight for? And is our children's future, is that enough? And if you're saying no, then maybe we don't have a chance. But I believe that people will say yes to that. And I truly believe that when we recognize how dire this issue is, we will come together in a space of not just despair or reaction or resistance, but a place of celebration, of joy, of love, of recognizing that this is a point in our Earth's history where people get to be a part of not just resisting the world we don't want, but creating the world we do want. And that is where I hold hope that humanity will pull through. And we have yet to see, but I have no choice to be optimistic, because losing hope is turning my back on all the youth. I'm turning my back on my generation, and I will never do that.
So I heard that.